Tank, I'm gonna say it in front of Mike and Jeremy. If you do not take this fight, your legacy is forever tainted. Nobody will ever remember your name. Nobody. The money's there. I know you love money, but money's there. If you don't take the fight next, your whole legacy forever is tainted if you don't take the next fight with me.
Oh my God.
God damn, Tank. I ain't never heard no shit like this.
You just said 2 rounds? You would knock Gervonta Tank Davis out in 2 rounds?
And I'm being generous. The first round, I might let him survive just so I could fulfill my promise.
Oh my goodness!
And you know what? You know how I know he's scared? He's saying that I'm on steroids. That shows you're really scared. Come on now, I don't need anything. All I need is God.
That was Ryan Garcia responding to Gervonta Tank Davis, stating Ryan Garcia, must be on steroids if he predicting a second round KO. Back when Ryan was clout chasing and screaming Tank, Tank, Tank everywhere he went. Few moments later, Ryan ended up pulling a capdemic in the sport of boxing. He transcended the sport from fighting to capping. Nevertheless, since then, Ryan Garcia camp, a total of 4 fighters in that camp have tested positive for steroids / PEDs. Canelo Alvarez for taking Combuterol, Martinez for doing the same, but he was not punished. Luis Neri, who tested positive for Zelpetro, he was also not punished. And ironically, he used the same excuse his fellow teammates used, both Canelo and Martinez: contaminated meat. And last but not least, Oscar Valdez, who recently tested positive for phentermine and was also not punished. The same week Jeanette Zapata died. May she rest in peace. Again, this is why Gervonta said, y'all forgot people die in the ring, right? And they still cheating? I'm drinking tea all camp. I gotta see what it's hitting for. I mean, the audacity by Oscar Valdez to blame taking PEDs on herbal tea. That's how you know exactly he cheated. Because this drug, phentermine, you can't even get your hands on that unless you got prescription for it. This is a banned substance for a reason. You can't just get it over the counter. That's why you have to get a doctor prescription for it. That's what makes Oscar Valdez's excuse more shameful than him cheating. Which is why Tank and the whole boxing world is clowning him for cheating than making up an excuse more shameful than his doing. Nevertheless, this makes it the 4th fighter from Eddie Reynoso camp that got busted for cheating. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. Man, Eddie Reynoso has equivalence of a basketball team. Majority of the players on the roster are on the juice. In fact, the first one that got busted using steroids is the captain of the team, Canelo Alvarez. Therefore, this is the main reason why Devin Haney came out and said that Eddie Reynoso whole camp is on that shit. And credit to Devin Haney, he inspired the whole boxing world to speak up on this huge issue. I mean, you really can't argue with that when 4 fighters Eddie Reynoso trained tested positive for PEDs. At this point, the $1 million question: who's next? Who is next?
Who next? Who next? I want who next? Who next?
First, you have 4 fighters tested positive for PEDs. Then you have another fighter starts bulking up, then pulls anxiety before testing starts, which is one of the side effects of steroids. Anxiety, that is. For the people that don't know, one of the main side effects of steroids is anxiety. Not saying Ryan Garcia is on steroids. All I'm saying, it's highly suspicious to see Ryan Garcia, in the middle of his career, receive high anxiety out of nowhere. Keep in mind, this was aftermath of knocking out Dunno and Luke Campbell in front of the whole world. Then, to put icing on the cake, Andy Ruiz, who don't even like to work out, that's not motivated, went from the nearly 300 pounds Andy Ruiz to looking like Anthony Joshua. Out of nowhere, Andy Ruiz is losing all of this weight that he couldn't even lose training for the Anthony Joshua rematch, the biggest fight of his life. Meanwhile, he's losing all of this weight training for no fight, while his whole camp is getting busted left and right for supplements that allows a person to lose a lot of weight while maintaining the muscles. What a coincidence. Such as Combuterol, Funtamine. To make matter worse, the WBC increased the limit when it comes to the drug testing to allow these fighters to use these banned substances legally and be allowed to fight. That's the key word, legally. The WBC stands for We Be Cheating. The WBC organization, the World Boxing Corruption Organization. There's no secret, the WBC organization is the most corrupted organization in the entire sport and needs to be held accountable for all of the favoritism, biasness, and corruption that's taken place in the organization. While you have track stars get suspended for smoking weed and can't participate in the Olympics for doing so, even though they only harming themselves. Meanwhile, the WBC approves Oscar Valdez to fight on PEDs in a sport where you can physically kill your opponent. In fact, Zapata died the same week Oscar Valdez tested positive for banned substance. Therefore, what the WBC are doing is disgraceful to the sport of boxing on so many different levels. So yeah, like Benavidez Sr., Devin Haney, and Caleb Plant said, Canelo Alvarez's entire camp is suspicious. Furthermore, Ryan Garcia felt the need to be the hero of the day. So he responded to Devin Haney by stating, quote, "Shut your mouth accusing me of cheating. I get it, you can't punch even with 8-ounce gloves. But don't be accusing me of such a serious accusation." Then Devin Haney responded with, "I can't punch, but you're not in a rush to fight me. Shake my head." Then Ryan Garcia responded with, "They were telling me you can't sell and people want their money back after they fell asleep." So Devin Haney responded with, "If that's your story, duck clap emojis." Now, first of all, I don't know why Ryan Garcia feels the need to say anything if he's not going to want to fight like a man. We all know what time it is. Last time Ryan Garcia was Devin Haney mandatory, he petitioned not to fight Devin Haney for a world title and his biggest payday by far. He ducked his way, then turned up all the way to receiving anxiety.
I'm the champ. I'm the champ, and if he wants a real fight, he can fight me. I should be champ, right? You gotta beat me to become champ. I should be champ, right? You gotta beat me to become champ. I'll get to you. I'll get to you. Let's make it happen. I'll get to you. Let's get that party. Let's go. I'm turned up. I'm turned up right now. I'm turned up right now.
Let me ask you guys, a little bit of a discrepancy between who won what in the amateurs. Devin says he's won all 6 of the matchups against you. You say something different.
Yeah, it's different. You know, look it. We had great fights in the amateurs. No doubt. He's a talented fighter. Much respect. You know, he got love for the game. I'm never a hater. You know, but we need to get this shit going on, right? We need to get this shit popping. We need to fight. Hey.
See, the cold reality is, Ryan Garcia is missing a substance called balls. In Spanish, it's called cojones. I mean, respectfully. Ryan is missing a substance called courage. Ryan is missing a substance called bravery. He's missing a substance called wanna be great, which causes him to be an automatic duck. Due to all of these missing substance, like Caleb Plant said, fighters like Ryan Garcia cannot let their nuts hang, and some of them resort to taking supplements that make them shrink instead. Caleb Plant was obviously talking about Canelo Alvarez being a duck, which is the worst kind of duck you can be, is a duck on steroids. How are you taking steroids and ducking at the same damn time? As Canelo have been ducking Andrade and Charlo for the past 7 years to this day. Hopefully that ain't the type of duck Ryan turned out to be. You are who you hang with. Nevertheless, back to the topic at hand, Ryan went back to Instagram and he posted, "I know y'all barely know who this is, but I'm not having no false claims on me." Now, Ryan only makes it worse every time he speaks. Because like I said, if you're not gonna say let's fight, then nobody cares about anything you have to say, especially when it's a lie. We all know Devin Haney is the heir to the Floyd Mayweather throne. Devin Haney, Gervonta Davis, and Shakur Stevenson. So when Ryan Garcia says things like, nobody knows Devin Haney, ironically, Devin Haney is a champion and Ryan Garcia is not. Devin Haney, compared to Ryan Garcia last fight, Devin fought in front of a sold-out, bigger crowd than Ryan Garcia did. Devin Haney made more than $3 million his last fight. Ryan Garcia made $500,000. In other words, Devin Haney made more than 6 times what Ryan Garcia made his last fight. And this is the norm for Devin Haney. He been getting millions every time he fought. Meanwhile, Ryan Garcia haven't made $1 million yet. Instead, he turned down millions of dollars to fight Devin Haney. Why? Because according to Ryan, Devin Haney is his toughest opponent, and he want to save him for last.
I got Devin Haney. I think Devin Haney. I mean, you see with Nakatani, Lopez had a little bit of trouble with that right hand over the top. I think Devin's even a little bit more craftier, obviously more craftier than Nakatani. I think Devin beats Teofimo. I think Teofimo has a great fight with Tank, but I still feel Tank beats him. I feel Devin beats Tank, and I beat Tank. I beat everybody.
Toughest challenge would be, I think, against Devin Haney.
On all the top lightweights, he makes the less money. You have the most followers, the most everything, but you make the less money. How does that make sense? How are you the money guy? He doesn't have a belt, and he makes the less money. They want to fight you. People want to fight him. With no disrespect, I like Ryan. Me and Ryan, we got a lot of history together, and I like him. But they want to fight you because they feel like you have followers, and you are the weakest link. That's what they feel. I'm not saying that it's true. We don't know who the weakest link is. We got to see. Everybody has to fight each other. But in reality, let's be real. Like, everybody needs to stop sugarcoating it, and let's be real. People want to fight him because they feel like he's the weakest link. Everybody wants to fight him because they feel like he has followers and he's the easiest fight. Let's be real. It's like a hidden secret, but nobody's trying to say it. It's the truth. That is the truth. That is why everybody wants to fight him.
See, what Ryan Garcia don't realize, once you tell the truth one time, every time you lie afterwards, that only further shows that you are missing that substance called balls, cojones, respectfully. Furthermore, we seen Ryan complain about pay on multiple occasions. So what happened to all of them followers? We never seen Devin Haney complain about any pay. In all reality, I don't see Jake Paul complain about pay because every time he fights on pay-per-view, he does $1 million plus. The people that follow Jake actually follow him to the sport of boxing. Meanwhile, the people that follow Ryan on Instagram, they don't follow him anywhere. I mean, rightfully. Where would you follow a duck? To the sinking lake? They only follow him because they saw him fight the speed bag. Ryan Garcia's greatest accomplishment, his toughest opponent to this date, is the speed bag. Jake Paul have taken on more of a 50-50 fights than Ryan Garcia. Therefore, when Ryan says nobody knows Devin Haney, again, Devin Haney has 1 million plus followers on Instagram. And statistically, factually speaking, people lie, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. According to DAZN, the network that both Devin and Ryan fights on, the top 5 most popular fighters in the United States are Deontay Wilder, Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Gervonta Davis, and Devin Haney. Ryan Garcia was nowhere on the list. And he want to talk about popularity. Joke's on you. Devin Haney ended up making more money, being more popular, being a champion, and the boogeyman all at the same damn time. These are facts. Meanwhile, Ryan Garcia is none of those things. All he is a wannabe. I never forget the day when Ryan was wearing the WBC belt during an interview with Stephen A. Smith, and with the same breath, he says belts don't matter. Meanwhile, he's rocking the belt, a fake belt, and ducking Devin Haney to fight for the real strap. You really can't make this up. He says Devin Haney can't punch, he's pillow-fisted, but he's ducking the fight. He's scared to death of Devin Haney. If Devin can't punch, then can Ryan go look for his cojones somewhere and fight Devin? But again, Once you tell the truth one time, that's all it takes. Ryan said out of his own mouth, "I'm saving Devin for last because he's my toughest opponent." Meanwhile, Devin Haney said on Split Decision that Ryan Garcia is the weakest link. He the softest one in the bunch. So you put 1 and 2 together. And last but not least, Ryan says Devin is boring. He put people to sleep. However, you can't find a single soul that complained about Devin Haney last fight being boring. Why? Because Devin Haney took risks. Unnecessary risks against the dangerous opponent Linares that Ryan Garcia ducked a fight with on multiple occasions. Devin Haney had to clean up his mess. Therefore, Ryan has to figure out and choosing between being an actual fighter, wanting to fight the best while talking all of the trash he want to talk, or have anxiety, duck everybody, keep it moving while his mouth is shut. That's for Ryan Garcia to choose. With the facts being laid out, drop your thoughts in the comment section below, subscribe below, and click on the notification bell to be continued on the next episode of Akhi, TV. Peace, and I'm on to the next one.